We now have our final person, Dylan from Nerd Chat. And I think, Dylan, this is your all's first time presenting at Demo Days. So welcome, and the stage is yours. You'll have 15 minutes.
All right, awesome. Yes, thank you so much for having me. Can everyone see my screen all right?
We can.
Fantastic. All right, everyone. Like Dan had said, this is my first time here, so thank you for the warm welcome. Thank you to everyone at ATIA for organizing this, and super excited to share more about us and what we're working on. So excited to explain to you today Glint by NairChat, which is the company that I started with my partner Scott, who is in the chat today. So feel free to send anything there. He'll be answering
Hello,
your questions.
everyone.
All right. So today we're going to be starting. I'll just quickly give you the overview and the intro, and then we're going to get real interactive. I know it's Wednesday, we're the last meeting, and I just want to make sure everyone can feel part of what we're going to be doing today, and really energized by a lot of the work. So I always love to start off with the mission. So how do we even get into this? What is Glint in the first place? If you're hearing about us for the first time, this is the backstory. So I'm Dylan, I'm from New York, and really got into this space through a friend of mine. I feel like everyone has such a great story when you're working in this environment. So mine was a very close friend who I met through a program called Best Buddies. And I went to school in Nashville where I met him, and he was actually non-speaking, utilizing a device. So one of the issues that he and I had was that originally being from New York, between semesters, every time I go back and forth, we'd pretty much lose touch because his device restricted him to robust communication only when we were in person. So it put so much strain on my relationship with him, and we always wished there was a better way we could have sustained this energy. And got super interested in assistive tech and decided, let's just start learning more about this place. So I started shadowing in school districts, working in clinics, and understanding really what is the landscape? What are we working with here? And one of the glaring issues that came up was making visuals. We're, as part of the support network, always making visuals to support who we're working with and our loved ones around us. So found that this is a very cumbersome and manual process, and that is the crux of what we do with Glint. So today I'm going to be showing you a bit about that. We're really just going to jump right in and get into an awesome interactive demo. So this is Glint. Welcome, everyone. So excited to have you. And we're going to start simple, and then we're going to get to the really, really fun stuff that Glint can do. So at any time, just please answer, you can text in the chat and go for that. So Glint by default actually can make simple grids, and we can just go ahead and get started right over here. You can see we have a nice, beautiful page we're looking at, and it asks us for a grid size. So I can go ahead and choose a 3x3 board size. And all I have to do is go to the text box and ask for a topic of choice. You can put anything in here. You can put articulation, you can put topics. I'm going to put my favorite topic, which is coffee. So I'm going to type in coffee shop. So we are asking Glint for a 3x3 board about words I might use to talk about a coffee shop. Notice within a couple of seconds, Glint generates this board for us. And let's go ahead and actually click on any of these.
Coffee.
Anything you create with Glint is dynamic, meaning it has the voice output. And we do this on purpose because we find when you combine the text, the image, and the voice output, this is what leads to our speech and learning outcomes. And I'll sprinkle in throughout this entire presentation, how are other organizations using this today to support and be part of that support network? So we just made this board. Hopefully it was pretty easy for us. What if we wanted to edit it? All we got to do is click the edit visuals button and we have an array of options. First and foremost, I can easily drag and drop anything. Just going like that, we can move things around. And the second thing to know is, what if I wanted to change these images? So firstly, I can just click on an image and notice we have the symbol 6 set, the lovely image set over here, where we already have a ton of other coffee shops waiting for us as the second we clicked. If I had changed this topic at the top, we would get access to all the symbols I needed. On the left-hand bar, we can change the symbol word, the speaking text, and even the background color if I wanted to. We also have this upload image option, which is a lot of our specialists and teachers will use this to upload photos of favorite snacks, of family members, of classrooms and settings that our individuals are working in. So anything you upload is private and secure only to your platform and your account. And for those who prefer more realistic looking images, we have an option for that as well. So I can click on this check mark on the top right and actually get amazing real photos. So I'm looking through here and this looks like a really tasty coffee. So I'm gonna click on that one. And wow, here we go. That looks really scrumptious right over there. So we're able to edit this with ease. Notice I can also add the rows and columns as needed. And there's also other options for our grid as well. I can say, hey, what if I just want the text? We can click and have the text alone. Or we can say, hey, what if I would like the images alone? We can do that as well. We also give you the power to change skin tones. So if you would like to personalize this, you're able to do that as well. So we just did the simplest thing you can do on Glint, but we are about to enter the fun stuff. Before we do that, I'm going to explain how do people use Glint. So there's two main ways to think about it. There's the digital and the physical. So Glint is a browser-based software, meaning you can have this on any device. Desktop, computers, iPads, and Chromebooks, you name it. Any device with an internet connection can access us through the internet. And we often have this used in one-on-one sessions, in group sessions, even displayed on boards in front of groups. So if you wanted to full screen this, there's a little button to do so. It can take up our entire screen. It's very much used in supplement to a lot of the work that we're doing in schools and different settings like that. So the second exciting thing is the shareability of this. So once I click the share button, you have the ability to print out anything you create with Glint. So whatever's in your preview box, you'll be able to print. You can download that as a PDF. I can copy that to my clipboard and put it anywhere I want in Google Docs and Google Slides. I can also turn this into a worksheet with the click of a button. And now I can add a name and a title, and it's good for me. The amazing thing we can also do here is the sharing link button. So many of our providers will actually create a visual with Glint and send this. I'm gonna send to the chat right now, so it's gonna be really fun. Everyone can now click on that link I just put in the chat and let me know what comes up. Hopefully you are getting the Glint that I created. And take a moment and click on any of these symbols.
Coffee.
And you should have the fully dynamic output. The way this works is we are trying to empower you not to work on things just in a classroom or an organizational setting. We want this to be applicable to anyone. So you don't even have an account and you can access that link. And that's how we make it more accessible. You also have the ability to have QR codes, which I can have everyone scan and you can get the Glint I just made on your phone or any device. Some people print these out and it's just super easy in that way. So hopefully that's making sense so far. We're going to get to some of the fun stuff now, which is what can you make with Glint? We can click on the templates and actually see we did the simple grid just now, but that is just the tip of the iceberg. We have some of the highest yield templates in speech pathology and special education, ranging from task analyses to social stories to schedules to checklists, bingo, WH questions, different types of boards, minimal pairs, and even recipes. So just to start, we're actually going to go ahead and do a social story to practice. Hopefully this is fun for people. This number asks me, hey, Dylan, how many lines would I like in my social story? And maybe I'll ask for 4 lines. Something to note, for those who work with people who speak another language, we have about 16 languages available. We'll go ahead and actually choose the Korean. Let's just try that one out. And I'm going to ask for a social story. Let's pick on Dan and say, Dan rides the bus to school. And within a second, we can ask Glint for our social story, 4 lines of Dan riding the bus to school in English and Korean. Within a moment, we are here. We can now click on any line.
대는 버스 정류장에서 기다립니다.
Does anyone speak Korean? Can they verify for me? I wish I did, but This is how we adapt and meet learners and users where they are today. So it can speak in your language of choice, it can speak back in English,
Dan waits at the bus stop.
and it can speak both languages.
버스가 제 시간에 도착합니다.
The bus arrives on time.
And remember, the editing and the sharing that we did before is all completely the same. So everyone here is already an expert on editing and sharing. So notice you can actually change the types as well. I can say, make this a book for me. And now I have a book ready for me. We're also going to do something super, super fun. Glint can be edited with something called the Glint Assistant. Imagine you had someone you can talk to edit your visuals in real time. That is what Glint is. The Glint Assistant allows you to tell it certain things, and it will edit the content of your visual. So I'm going to give it a pretty hard prompt, and we're going to do it together. So we're going to say, add that it was raining. Oops. Add that it was raining, and in each sentence, add a word that starts with SH. Oops, connected to my phone, so it's being funny. Let's just write it. Add that it was raining, and in each sentence, let's add an SH word. So I'm giving it a pretty hard prompt. Let's ask the Glint Assistant if they can change my visual just by chatting with it. Within a couple of seconds, the Glint Assistant will process it and make whatever I told it make sense within the story. So I asked for raining and I asked for SH words. Maybe we're working on that, right? So it tries its best to edit the board or Glint to make it applicable to me. So notice it is now having the rain, and it's tried its best to add words that start with SH if it makes sense to the story. And it has edited the entire visual for us. If I didn't like it, I could just press undo. But really, the world is your oyster when it comes to using this. And this is how we support meeting learners, meeting users where they are today. So now that you're an expert with making things on Glint and editing and sharing, you'll also know that we have an extensive library. If you want to look through and see things that other amazing providers who are 10 times more talented than I ever will be have been making, feel free to go look through this. We have hundreds and hundreds of pre-mates. When we work with organizations, we actually give them a special organization tab, which is a private shared drive where everyone can share their glints and collaborate on visuals. With regard to accessibility, we know that all of this has to be designed with accessibility in mind. We are doing our best to continuously add more features for you. We have the ability to, of course, change the voice. We have high contrast. We have the ability to add the Fitzgerald key if you require it, and different types of accessibility settings that you can play around with yourself. Most importantly, how do we keep in touch with you? The best way to keep in touch and speak to us is through the help button. We always listen to our users. Every time we work with someone, we pay special attention to learn about, what are the desires that you have and how is this best supporting? So everything you've seen here was really made genuinely in part with therapists, with teachers, with the care support networks of our community. So that's kind of just the full circle moment of that's how everything came about to start. I will say I'm seeing some questions and such. So just to reiterate, the platform itself is very much about, visual aids being an addendum to a lot of the supports you may be using today. While we don't offer any integrations into existing AAC systems, that's something we hope to explore in the future. But today we are very much about creating visuals. And just to close, you don't have to take it from me. It's really about, who we're working with and just kind of seeing the specialists, the educators and providers. We hope to save you 90% plus of the amount of time you spend making visual supports. And the success really speaks to itself. We're enhancing speech and learning outcomes. And we also want to make sure we're taking care of everyone who is in the support network. So that's us. Hopefully we'll end a little bit early. Time back for everyone. And here's a link to scan if you want a QR code to check us out or learn more. Or if there's anyone that you think should know about us, feel free to scan right here. And that's us. Thank you so much for being here on this Wednesday.